One of the stories that is not being covered here very much any longer, but is still a terrific disaster in Australia, the flooding, which, believe it or not, even though the reports were that the waters were receding, there's yet another town that is in danger of becoming consumed by the water. Rod Cleek is joining us from Australia. Rod, welcome to News Talk Online on the Pal Talk News Network. What's the story?
Thank you, Gary, and good morning, everybody. Well, the floods in Australia have gone from bad to worse, basically, as it follows further down the coast in Australia and now in Victoria. But Queensland's still in danger with the floods have abated somewhat and the massive cleanups underway, but there are still heavy rains forecast in some places, and it's already happening, causing new floods in areas that have already been badly ravaged. And some places are undergoing a third and even fourth inundation. This storm, the current storm, is now bringing dangerous winds with heavy rainfall and flash flooding and hailstones. Meanwhile, in Victoria, the next state down, well, past to New South Wales, Kerrang and Warwick-Nabil in Western Victoria are the latest towns to escape the flooded Wimmera. That's expected to peak at midnight tonight, with Timboola bracing for a huge surge as reports that its weir is in fact damaged, causing a great deal of concern for residents there. Meanwhile, new figures have emerged for Horsham on the Wimmera River in Victoria, where the floods peaked on Tuesday with more than 32 homes were completely flooded, and between 300 and 500 homes with water inundation right through their yards, etc. And 62 towns and cities across the state of Victoria have now felt the impact of the floods, with a lot more to come at the beginning of the tropical season. Victorian authorities have closed a record number of hundreds of roads, and the death toll from the whole thing is now 21 dead and 12 missing. And there are also reports making matters worse that half the insurance claims submitted so far have been refused by insurance companies due to insurance companies' interpretation of the word flood, further adding distress to those already affected. This is Rod Cleek from Australia for the Pal Talk News Network.
Rod, before we let you go away, and that's kind of interesting, it should be pretty obvious to everyone that people who are underwater suffered from a flood, and how the insurance companies can play with the language to make it appear otherwise is just beyond understanding. But I wanted to ask you about the political ramifications of all this. I understand that there are those in Australia who are now pushing for the federal government to stop sending aid overseas so that there's more money to deal with this situation and other potential inevitabilities in Australia, kind of like what we hear going on here in the United States as well, a similar argument.
That's true, Gary, and people are really quite concerned at what the future brings. The cost to the economy of these floodings, and it's still early in the season, is going to be absolutely mammoth, and it'll be months before they'll be able to work out how much. But it's even gone to the other extent where there are people now, because Australia Day comes up on the 26th of January, usually celebrated with fireworks around the country. People are pushing to have fireworks stopped this year and the money donated to the flood relief appeal. So yeah, certainly 60 odd million to Indonesia in the last 12 months, so a lot of Australians are asking that the money go to Australia.
Wow, poor folks in Australia. First, in some areas, they canceled fireworks on New Year's Eve because of drought, and now they're talking about canceling fireworks because of flooding. Thanks for that report, Rod.